My wife suspects nothing. She's completely clueless. I found this text message on my husband's phone. He'd been cheating on me for 6 months while I worked night shifts at the hospital, saving money for our future. But here's what Richard didn't know. I wasn't clueless at all. And when I hired a forensic accountant, she found 5 hidden bank accounts with over $400,000 he'd been hiding from me during our divorce. This is the story of how my husband tried to steal everything, and how I got the last laugh. My name is, well, let's just call me Mirabelle for this story. I was 32 years old, married for 9 years to Richard. We met in college, dated through graduation, got married right after. From the outside we looked perfect. Nice house in a good neighborhood. 2 cars, stable jobs. I was a registered nurse working night shifts. He was a sales director at a tech company making great money. We'd been talking about starting a family. Everything seemed perfect. Until that Thursday evening when his phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. One text message. That's all it took to destroy 9 years of marriage. Last night was amazing. When can I see you again? From someone named Vanessa. My hands were shaking as I picked up his phone. I knew his passcode 4732, our anniversary date. We'd never had secrets, or so I thought. I opened the messages, scrolled up and up and up. Months of texts, hundreds of them, photos of them together, hotel reservations, intimate messages, and then I saw the one that felt like a knife in my chest. My wife suspects nothing. She's completely clueless. She works nights so I have plenty of freedom. The night shifts I work to help us save money, to build our future. He was using them to cheat on me. I took screenshots of everything, sent them to my email. When Richard came out of the shower, I was sitting on the couch with his phone in my hands. Who is Vanessa? His face went completely white. Then he got defensive, tried to lie, called it a violation of his privacy that I'd gone through his phone. I showed him the messages, the photos, the hotel receipts. He gave up on the lies. Fine, yes, I've been seeing her for 6 months. I was going to tell you eventually. 6 months, half a year of lying to my face every single day. Get out, I said, right now. He tried to explain, to justify. I gave him 30 minutes to pack a bag and leave. The next morning I called a divorce lawyer, Patricia Morgan, 20 years of experience. I showed her everything, 50 pages of printed evidence. This is clear adultery, Patricia said. In this state that matters for asset division, but first I need to see all your finances. I spent a week gathering everything, bank statements, tax returns, investment accounts, building what I thought was a complete picture. But then something caught my attention. Richard's income had nearly doubled during our marriage, started at $80,000 9 years ago. Last year, $170,000. But our lifestyle hadn't changed. Same house, reasonable cars, 1 vacation a year. Where was all that extra money going? I showed Patricia the tax returns, laid them out on her conference table. His income doubled, but our savings barely increased. Something's wrong. Patricia's eyes narrowed. That's an excellent question. Let me request full financial disclosure. Richard's disclosure came 2 weeks later. The house, our savings, his 401k, my 401k, total assets of about $850,000. A 50-50 split would give me $425,000. But I still couldn't shake the feeling something was wrong. I went through our old bank statements again. This time I found them. Monthly transfers, $3,000 here, $5,000 there, sometimes more, going to account numbers I didn't recognize. They'd been happening for years, getting larger as his income grew. Patricia hired a forensic accountant, Sarah Chen, specialist in finding hidden assets. She requested subpoenas for all of Richard's bank records. It took 2 months, but Sarah found everything. 5 bank accounts Richard never disclosed. 1 local account, $75,000. 3 accounts across the state, $200,000 combined. 1 offshore account, $150,000. Total hidden assets, $425,000, almost exactly what he'd disclosed in his sworn affidavit. He'd basically hidden half of everything. But Sarah wasn't finished. She also found 3 secret credit cards, all maxed out, $90,000 in debt. The charges, hotels, expensive restaurants, jewelry, gifts. All for his affairs. We filed an emergency motion. Fraud, perjury, concealment of assets and debts. The judge scheduled a hearing. Richard walked into court looking confident. He had no idea what was coming. Patricia stood up and presented the forensic accountant's report. 5 hidden accounts, $425,000 in undisclosed assets, 3 credit cards, $90,000 in hidden debt. The judge's face changed completely. "Mr. Harrison," the judge said, "did you disclose all your bank accounts in your sworn affidavit?" Richard's lawyer jumped in. "Your Honor, my client may have overlooked some accounts, honest mistake." The judge wasn't buying it. 5 bank accounts, $425,000, that's not a mistake, that's fraud. Richard tried to explain, said he was saving for our future, wanted it to be a surprise. The judge shut him down. "You signed a sworn affidavit, you committed perjury, you hid assets during divorce proceedings, I'm imposing sanctions. I'm awarding Mrs. Harrison 75% of all marital assets." 75%? Richard's face went white. "Let me do the math for you. Total marital assets including hidden accounts, $1.2 million. 75% to me, $956,000. 25% to Richard, $319,000. Plus, he was responsible for the $90,000 in credit card debt. Plus, he had to pay all my legal fees, $85,000. Richard appealed, lost, appealed again, lost again. The ruling stood. He had to liquidate investments, sell his BMW, move into a cheap apartment. And Vanessa, she disappeared the moment the money dried up, stopped returning his calls, moved on to someone else with money. Richard's career suffered, got demoted, income cut in half, lost his company car. Meanwhile, I used my settlement wisely, paid off the house completely, invested for retirement, went back to school for my nurse practitioner license. Started dating after a year, met someone wonderful named David, a teacher, honest, kind, transparent about everything. We got married 3 years later, had a daughter, Grace, then a son, Luke. Built a life based on complete honesty and trust. 5 years after the divorce, I ran into Richard at a grocery store, first time seeing him in person. He looked so much older, tired, defeated. "I'm sorry," he said quietly, "for everything, the affair, hiding the money, all the lies." I looked at this man I'd spent 9 years with. "Thank you for saying that," I said, "but honestly, I'm glad it happened, led me to something so much better, something real." I walked away and didn't look back. Told David about it that night. He asked how it felt seeing Richard. "Nothing," I said, "I felt absolutely nothing." And that feeling of nothing, that felt like complete freedom. My ex-husband hid $500,000 during our divorce, committed fraud, lied under oath, thought he was so smart. I hired a forensic accountant, found everything, won 75%, $956,000. Built a life better than anything we ever had together. That's not revenge, that's justice. And if you're going through a divorce and something feels off, trust your instincts, hire a forensic accountant. It might cost you $20,000, but it could win you your future. Sometimes the worst betrayal leads to the best life. You just have to be brave enough to fight for what's yours. If this story resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe for more true revenge stories. Drop a comment telling me, would you have forgiven Richard at the grocery store? I'll see you in the next one.